This is the card we're going to do today. I've made this using some Making a Scene stamps, which I purchased from the peddlersden.com website. I also used a Darice embossing folder, which is this particular pattern. I don't know what the number is, but this is what it looks like. And so let's begin. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my Fawn Large Stitched rectangles. I'm going to take the biggest one. And I'm going to cut out some Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 80 pound. Next I'm going to stamp this stamp on it. This is P23-467I. And I'm going to use the embossing fold to determine exactly where it is I'm going to want to stamp this stamp. And I'll use Memento Tuxedo black to stamp it. Okay, I'm going to take some more of the Neenah Solar White 80 pound, and I'm going to stamp out this chair, which is P23-477D, as well as these two flowers, which are M23-473G. Okay, now I'm going to use my Copic markers, which are alcohol-based markers, and I'm going to color these stamped images. So I'm going to start coloring the chair. I'm going to use E21, E25, and E29 Copic markers. Okay, to add a weathered look, I'm going to add some B93. Okay, and I'll use some yellow-green markers, YG21, YG23, and YG25. Okay, for the colors, I'll use some red violet. I'll use RV13 and RV17. And I'll also use some RV10. Okay, I use my scan and cut and also my little craft knife here to cut out these stamps. And then I took a black marker and just went along the outside edges of the cuts. Okay, I'm going to start to color this background panel now. I'm going to use some distress ink. I'll start with some tumbled glass and my blending brush. Okay, next I'll do some broken china. Okay, next some mermaid lagoon. Okay, for the sandy area, I'm going to start with some old paper. Okay, next I'm going to go with some frayed burlap. Okay, now I'll go with some pumice stone. brushed corduroy. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to the tumbled glass and the broken china and mermaid lagoon. Okay, I'm going to put this panel now in the embossing folder where I want it to be. And to hold it in place, I will just use some micropore tape. Now I'm going to use some distress markers to color in the inside of these to be the color that I want them to be. Okay, now I brought it over to my die cutting machine, and I'm just going to spray on the side here that I colored. Then I'm going to fold this up. And now I'm going to attach the die cut chair and flowers. I'm going to use some foam dots to prop them up. Okay, for the sentiment I'm going to stamp the "Wishing you a day filled with tropical breezes and swaying palm trees." This is number T23-482C. And I'll take the brushed corduroy distress ink and distress the edges of the sentiment. And use some foam squares to place it on the panel. And I think I would like to add some sheer ribbon to the bottom here. And so I am going to carefully pry these up. And I'll just use some tape to tape it to the back of the panel. And I'll take another small piece of ribbon and I'll just tie it into a knot at the edge to make it look like there's a bow on it. And I'll use some glue dots to hold the ribbon down to the panel underneath the chair. And I wanted to add a little something more, so I'm going to stamp out this seagull, which is T9-217A. Okay, and cut it out with my scan and cut. I'm going to take my black marker and just kind of go over the edge. Okay, and I'll use some of my cool grays. Okay, and I'm also going to use some E31. And I'll use some foam squares to attach it to the main panel. And I'll stamp this stamp, which I got from one of my orders from the Peddler's Den, and I'm going to stamp this on the back of my card base. And now I'll attach this panel to the card base just by using some tape runner. Okay, and I'll also put some of these little pearls here. Okay, and here's the finished card. And so this is the front, and then also the personalized made by on the back of the card. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!